Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Today is a beautifully chaotic day in the soap world, and we have a massive rumor roundup to dive into. Grab your coffee, take a seat, and get ready, because the backstage whispers we've been hearing are absolutely mind-blowing. Let's get straight into it. The walls of Port Charles are trembling. We are standing on the precipice of a seismic shift in momentum, where every lie told in the dark is about to detonate in the daylight, leaving our favorite characters with impossible choices, shattered alliances, and blood on their hands. I am literally shaking right now. I can't believe they are actually going to do this. I mean, I'm sitting here typing this up late at night after watching the latest episode, and my mind is just racing with all these leaks from our reliable backstage sources. We need to talk about this immediately, because if even half of this is true, Port Charles is going to be unrecognizable by the end of the summer. I've been watching this show since 2015, and I have opinions. Some of these rumors have me jumping for joy, and others make me want to throw my remote at the table. So let's just dive right into the deep end, because I cannot hold this in any longer. Let's start with the rumor that has me the most stressed out. I'm sorry, but if they kill off Ric Lansing, I am going to riot. Our backstage source is whispering that Ric might die of a brain injury by the end of the summer. A brain injury? And why? Supposedly to create a really good storyline for Sonny Corinthos. Are you kidding me? Because we definitely need another storyline where Sonny gets to stand around looking mournful and feeling guilty about his complicated relationship with his half-brother. We have watched Sonny and Ric go at each other's throats for years. They have this incredibly toxic, deeply fascinating brotherly rivalry, and killing Ric off just to give Sonny some man pain is the cheapest trick in the soap opera playbook. I mean, remember when they tried to kill Ric off before? Or when they constantly use peripheral characters to prop up the mob boss's emotional arc. It didn't work then, and it won't work now. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me catch my breath. Because there's a second leak from another very reliable source that completely contradicts the death rumor. This second source says we might actually be getting a Ric and Alexis Davis reunion. Okay, back to the point. I know some people are loving the idea of Ric and Alexis finding their way back to each other, but personally, I am just relieved there's a 50/50 chance he survives. Molly needs her dad, especially with all the chaos going on with the Ashford family and Jen Sidwell. If Ric and Alexis reunite, it would be such a nostalgic callback to their messy, passionate history. I am praying to the soap gods that the second leaker is the correct one. Please, GH writers, do not put Ric in the ground just to give Sonny a reason to stare pensively at a glass of whiskey. Now, let's talk about the absolute curse of dating Michael Corinthos. Am I the only one who noticed that being Michael's girlfriend is basically a death sentence in Port Charles? Our inside source says that Jacinda Bracken, the gorgeous ex-prostitute Michael has been dating, is going to meet a bad end. And by bad end, I mean a fatal one. Jacinda is going to be murdered. I can't say I'm terribly surprised, because honestly, most of Michael's girlfriends end up 6 feet under. Remember Abby Haver? She was literally crushed to death by a crane. Remember Sabrina Santiago? Strangled by the General Hospital serial killer. Remember Nell Benson? She fell off a cliff after making Michael's life a living hell. And let's not forget Sasha, who was driven to drug addiction while in his orbit. It is like a revolving door of tragedy. Any woman who gets involved with Michael Corinthos should immediately take out a massive life insurance policy. Jacinda never stood a chance. She thought she was just dating a wealthy, handsome Quartermaine Corinthos heir, but she walked right into a cursed bloodline. And the twist here is what really gets me going. Jacinda is supposedly going to be killed by a third party, but the blame is going to fall squarely on Willow Kane. I cannot wait for this. Willow is going to be framed for Jacinda's murder, and the best part is that absolutely nobody is going to believe she's innocent. Our source says Willow is going to swear up and down that she didn't hurt Jacinda, that she is telling the truth, but her credibility is completely And honestly, can you blame anyone for thinking she did it? Because Willow has been acting like an absolute monster lately. She drugged her own husband, Drew Kane. She shot him. She kept him in a locked-in state, paralyzed and voiceless, while she paraded around Port Charles playing the victim. So when Jacinda turns up dead, of course everyone is going to look at Willow and think, yep, she snapped again. The irony of Willow actually telling the truth for once, and nobody believing her, is just pure, delicious soap opera karma. Let's really dig into Willow's psychology first. She started out as this sweet, innocent schoolteacher who just wanted to protect little Wiley from She was the moral compass of the show. And now she is literally the villain of her own story. I know some fans are still clinging to the idea that Willow is a good person deep down, but I'm sorry. You don't secretly inject your husband with paralytics from a global criminal like Jen Sidwell and still get to wear the white hat. You don't shoot your husband twice and then fake his medical condition to keep him locked in his own body just to maintain your perfect little political career. Michael has been scheming to push Willow and Chase together, playing this massive long game to get full custody of their kids, and now Jacinda is going to pay the ultimate price. Jacinda was just collateral damage in the toxic orbit of Michael and Willow. And frankly, I am here for Willow finally facing the music, even if it's for a crime she didn't actually commit this. It's exactly what she deserves, after gaslighting the entire town for months. Which brings us to the massive exit leak. Caitlin McMullen is allegedly taking a break from the show! And honestly, thank goodness. She has been in this intense front burner storyline for so many months, and the whole Willow and Drew saga has dragged on way too long. I thought it was already too long weeks ago. But apparently, there was some behind-the-scenes interference that changed the pacing, and now Caitlin has asked for a well-deserved work break. Our leakers are saying that this short-term exit will be written into the show by having Willow sent to Ferncliff or Shady Brook. Yes, put her in a padded cell. Think about how perfectly this aligns with Drew's current mindset. Drew has made this miraculous recovery, he has his voice back, his mobility back, and he is hell-bent on revenge. But he can't exactly use legal channels to punish his homicidal wife, without exposing all the other dirty secrets tied to the WSB and Jack Brennan's black box. So what does a furious, vengeful Drew Kane do? He uses the Jacinda murder frame-up to have his wife committed to an insane asylum. Ferncliff isn't exactly Pentonville, but it is definitely a consequence for Willow's action. Drew gets to watch the woman who paralyzed him get locked away in a psychiatric facility, screaming her innocence, while the whole town thinks she's a crazed killer. It is poetic justice, and the leaker added a little nugget that has me both terrified and thrilled. When Willow comes back from this break, she is going to be acting even worse. I mean, if you thought paralyzing husband Willow was bad, just wait until we get fresh out of Ferncliff Willow. She is going to be unhinged. She is going to be plotting her own revenge against Drew, against Michael, against whoever actually killed Jacinda. This break is going to serve as the perfect reset button to fully transition Willow into a legacy villain. I am dreading the chaos she will bring, but I am absolutely here for the drama it will provide. Okay, let's pivot to the other side of town, because the WSB drama is far from over. In case you thought Carly Spencer had chilled out, she has not. Our leaker says Carly remains absolutely determined to get revenge on Jack Brennan. And honestly, I don't blame her. Brennan lured Jocelyn to the WSB, a life of constant danger and international espionage, and Carly's mama bear instincts are in full overdrive. Carly has already lost Morgan. She is not going to lose Jocelyn to the same kind of violent lifestyle. Morgan's death in that car bomb completely shattered Carly, and she still carries that grief every single day. Seeing Jocelyn pick up a gun, join the WSB, and get shot on Spoon Island, that is Carly's absolute worst nightmare coming to life. Brennan thinks he can just manipulate these young women, use them as pawns in his international chess games, and get away with it because he's got a badge. But he clearly doesn't know who he's dealing with. Carly Spencer will burn the world down to protect her kids. She went up against Cyrus Renault, she went up against Nell, she went up against the Five Families, and she will absolutely destroy Jack Brennan. But Carly might not be fighting this battle alone. The leaks suggest that Valentine Cassidy might share in this revenge plot. We all know Valentine and Brennan have major beef. Brennan has been holding that black box over everyone's heads, playing his spy games, and Valentine is not a man who likes to be played. Right now, our source says Valentine doesn't even know the full extent of the crimes Jack Brennan has been committing. But the second Valentine gets his hands on that information, oh, it is over for Brennan. Valentine will absolutely use all of that dirt for revenge, especially if it means helping Carly. Because let's talk about Caradine for a second. Valentine and Carly have this undeniable chemistry, and they've been operating as this secret power couple for months. Sonny Corinthos is losing his mind over it. The leak says Valentine is supposed to mix it up more with Sonny in the coming weeks, and I guarantee you it is about Sonny trying to force Valentine out of Carly's life. Sonny is so hypocritical. He is literally carrying on a secret affair with ADA Justine Turner. But the second Carly moves on with a Cassadine, Sonny acts like he owns her. Sonny is going to use Brick. He is going to use his mob tactics, but Carly is not going to back down. She is going to stand her ground, and Valentine is going to stand right beside her. And Brennan really needs to watch his back, not just from Carly and Valentine, but because of Jen Sidwell. Apparently, the Sidwell storyline was pushed forward by 2 whole months. Our source says Sidwell's final arc is going to wrap up in August. That means we are hurtling toward a massive, bloody climax with Sidwell has been terrorizing Lucas Jones, holding Justine hostage, and causing absolute mayhem for Willow and the WSB. If his arc is ending in August, that means the body count is probably going to rise before he goes down. Will Sonny finally take him out? Will the WSB swoop in? Whatever happens, it is going to be explosive. Tied directly to Sidwell's exit is the arrival of this new guy coming this week, Hudson. Supposedly, Hudson is going to be the next villain stepping up after Sidwell is out of power. But the leaker threw in a little caveat, maybe he's not the next real big. So what does that mean? Is Hudson just a mid-level thug? Is he a distraction while the real mastermind pulls the strings from the shadows? We already know Hudson is the reason Ethan Lovett is packing his bags and fleeing Port Charles in a panic. Ethan saw him at the Metro Court pool and practically lost his. Ethan has been running this massive scam, faking DNA tests to claim he is Phoebe's father to hide a dark secret about Delilah Wilson. Ava Jerome has been blackmailing him over it, but the second Hudson arrived, Ethan decided to just abandon ship. Hudson clearly has a dark history, and if he's stepping into the power vacuum left by Sidwell, Port Charles needs to brace itself. Is Hudson connected to the DVX? Is he tied to the missing black box? Or is he just a ruthless enforcer sent to clean up Sidwell's mess? Whatever his agenda is, his arrival signals that the criminal underworld in this town is about to get a major shakeup, and nobody is safe. I am just so overwhelmed by all these moving pieces. Between Ric's potential death, Jacinda's murder, Willow getting locked up in a psych ward, Carly declaring war on the WSB, and new villains crawling out of the woodwork, it feels like the writers are just throwing everything at the wall. And honestly, I kind of love it. Sometimes you need to blow the whole canvas up to make things interesting. I know some fans are complaining about the pacing, but personally, I am strapped in for this roller coaster. I just need them to spare Ric Lansing, put Willow in a straitjacket, and let Carly and Valentine take down the entire spy agency. Is that too much to ask? Will Willow survive Ferncliff, or will the real killer strike again? Drop your wildest theories in the comments below, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep this conversation going.